Hey guys, my Seni, welcome back to Chit Chat with Chip, where I talk about all things to do with money, to do with sewing, to do with career, and to do with life in general. I hope that's something that you can relate to, and if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't ever miss anything, because I can be quite interesting. But anyway, just make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share everything. My last video I was talking about ways to save while you're shopping during Black Friday, but also how to save generally when you're shopping online. And make sure that you check out that video, and I'm going to make it pop up somewhere here. So just make sure you watch, make sure you comment, tell me what you guys do, tell me if that helps you, tell me if that's stuff that you are going to try. And yeah, it really helps to know if you even find this interesting. But yeah, make sure that you check that out. But in this video I am going to be giving you guys my top 5 to 6 tips on how to deal with locum or agency work, but also just some life advice in general. You don't have to take any of this advice. It's just me, again, chip chatting away. So if you're interested, if you like what you see, make sure you like, make sure you comment. I want to hear from you. Tell me if that's stuff that you think, yeah, like I can relate to that. And let me know in the comments, let me know. But yes, I'm gonna go right into it. I don't like to make these videos really long, and I need to go ahead and edit this video after. So tip number 1 is make sure that you always have backup funds, especially when you're starting a new assignment. So what I mean by that is make sure that you've got money for if, for example, something goes wrong and you don't get paid for, like, say you're expected to get paid within a week, you don't get paid within a week. Say you're expecting to get paid within a month, you don't get paid in that month or for like 2 months after. You need to have a backup, because what you're going to do if you don't get paid, make sure that you basically have some sort of emergency fund. I can talk about emergency funds in another video, but if you're going to start a new assignment, you're going to start a new job, just make sure that you've got a backup of money that you can dip into if you don't get paid and bills got to be paid. Make sure you have that. It's really important. And the reason I speak about this is because it's something that happened to me, but luckily I had a backup of money that I could go into because I didn't get paid, and I got paid maybe 2 to 3 weeks later than I was expecting. But also when I did get paid, I got underpaid. So luckily I had money to keep me going. My bills were paid, I could buy my food. But yeah, if you don't have that, it can be very difficult and very stressful. So just make sure that you've got backup money if you need it. So maybe have, like, I don't know, 2 to 3 months worth if you can, or at least 2 months if you can, just in case something happens. You don't want to be in a situation where you find yourself struggling because you moved to a new job but you haven't got anything to help you with your situation at the time. So just make sure that you've got backup funds when you're starting a new job or you're starting a new assignment. And that's just life as well. Make sure you got money for, I don't know, 3 to 6 months if something went wrong. Emergency funds, I'll talk about that in another video. Tip number 2, or advice number 2, is remember why you're doing what you're doing. People might have an issue with you being a locum or you being an agency worker, but that is not your problem. That's a them problem, that's not a you problem. If people have an issue, it's potentially a reflection on what they wish they were doing. It's nothing to do with you. There's a lot of reasons why people make decisions to move away. For example, I obviously moved away, I left my permanent job, but there's a lot of reasons why somebody would make a big jump, take a big risk, which is a change in career, a change in their business. Obviously, like I said, just take a risk. There's many reasons why, and you got to remember why you're doing what you're doing. What they think is not your problem. And you got to remember also that the end goal is potentially a lot sweeter than the challenges that you're going to face in getting to that goal. So just make sure you remember what you're doing, and do not worry about what other people think about you being an agency worker. If they think you get paid more than them, that's not your problem. If they think you're not doing as much even though you are, that's not your problem. You do what you've got to do, and just remember why you're doing it. Tip number 3, or advice number 3, is it's not your responsibility to make people feel comfortable for their sake. People might say stuff or do stuff intentionally or unintentionally to throw you off track or to make you question what you're doing. Some people don't like the idea of somebody else doing better than them, or in their minds they perceive you as doing better than them, and they don't like that. So they will do stuff, say stuff to you that will make you feel like, oh, question what you're doing. Again, that's not your problem, that's a them problem. People can only see what you're doing on the surface level. They don't know the reasons behind how you've come up to be where you are. They only see what they want to see, and they don't know the backstory of everything. Just don't make people make you feel uncomfortable for what you're doing. You made that decision, you stick with it, and yeah, the end goal, like I said, is gonna be sweeter than the challenges. Tip number 4, or advice number 4, is get on with everyone, but be aware of everyone. I find that people can be happy for you to your face, but not necessarily like deeply happy for you, or it can be fake. So I'm not saying walk around and be a skeptical person, that's not what I'm saying, but just be aware of everyone and be smart about your interactions with people, because people might be happy for you to your face, but not everybody's necessarily happy with you. So yeah, just be aware of who you talk to, what you're talking about, and yeah, just be careful. But I'm not saying just be like completely keep everybody at a distance, but just be aware of the people that you interact with and make sure that you know who's for you and who's not for you, and stick with the people that are for you, that you can learn from, that can support you, and you can support them in their journeys. But people that are fake friends, don't need them. Tip number 5, or advice number 5, is don't get too deeply involved in politics of your new workplace. You can listen to people's problems, you can listen to people ranting on about the issues that they face, and that's fine, because you got to remember, when you're going into a new department, for example, if you are a locum or an agency worker, there's a reason why they're getting you in as an agency worker or a locum worker. So make sure that you remember that there's other issues going around in that place that it's not your job to really get involved in, really, but people are very frustrated. Remember that you're working with people that have been there for years, potentially many years. They're very frustrated sometimes with how things work, how things go, and it's not just work life as well, it could be personal life. But at the end of the day, you just got to remember that you don't really need to get too involved in everything. Like I said, people are frustrated. You just got to remember to save your energy for the things that really need your energy. And especially in this time as well, when I spoke about how when you're starting out in a new place, it can be in a really bad condition or in a really bad place. You got to remember, especially in this 2020, it's a pandemic. There's a lot of staff shortages. There's a lot of issues going around. There is a lot of pressure and stress on different companies, on different organizations. So just remember that when you're going into these places, people will be frustrated. People will be stressed out, but just don't get too deeply involved in the politics. That if, for example, you're there short term, you don't need to waste your energy on that. Just preserve what you got to preserve. Stay positive and just keep it moving. Tip number 6, or advice number 6, is be prepared to feel as though people want you to do the worst jobs, but remember that you need to know what's okay and what's not okay. Don't let people walk all over you or take advantage of your situation, because that's not fair. You know how people should treat you and how people shouldn't treat you, but just be prepared for people to try and take advantage. Just because you're an agency worker or a locum worker or anywhere in your life that you start a new job or whatever, just be careful and don't let people take advantage of you, because that's never okay. And yeah, we don't need stuff like that. So I'm obviously I'm a locum worker, but at the moment I've been working as a bank biomedical scientist, and these are some of the things that I've come across in the short space of time that I've been a locum worker. A lot of the comments that I'll get when I'm a locum worker is, yeah, but you get paid a lot, don't you? Or yeah, but you have a nice life, or yeah, but I bet you can go on holiday whenever you want. That's not the case, yo. Listen, the money is not as much as you think it is. Like, you got to understand, when it comes to locum, you're basically kind of self-employed, so you're sorting out your own tax. You're paying more tax than potentially everybody else, just because sometimes with some agencies you have to pay your own employees' national insurance. So there's a whole hoo-ha into that, which I can go into another video. If you want to hear about locum and the ins and outs of it, drop a comment and I can talk about that. But there's a lot more to it, and you will get these comments from people that I just brush them off, because I'm like, just laugh it off. It's not that deep, it's not that serious. People have their own perceived ideas of what you're on or what you're doing, and that might not be the case, but you don't need to argue it, because people believe what they want to believe. So yeah, I'm in the situation where I come across these comments every day, but then I have to find a way to deal with them to, not take it too seriously, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's not that deep. So yeah, I've been a locum for 3 to 4 months now, and these are just some of the things that I'm coming across, and I notice it as I have been to a different place or whatever, that there is people potentially that aren't necessarily happy for you, and that's cool, but you are not there for them. You are doing what you've got to do. Just remember what you're doing, your why, and keep it moving. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you like this video. If there's anything that resonates with you, please let me know. If there's stuff that you don't agree with and there's other advice or tips that you might have, let me know. I kind of think of this as advice for work, advice for your career, but also advice for life in general. Because listen, when it comes to people, these are some of the things that I will use in my everyday to-day life. Just remember that. But yes, I hope you like this video, and sorry about the lighting today, but the sun today just came out. Sun is shining, the weather came out shining today, but it was not right for my filming today, so I had to sort of change up the setup. So I've got my little sewing dummy here, not dummy. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this is something that you can resonate with, something that you agree or don't agree with. If you don't agree, let me know, but I hope it's something that you can relate to. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. We ain't gonna do that. Let's just stop the video.